Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and this is my weekly entertainment wrap-up from July 14th through 20th. This week I read 2 books, I watched 3 shows, and I listened to 2 books. First this week I finished Not Your Backup by C.B. Lee. This is the 3rd in the Sidekick Squad series, and because of that I can't really tell you too much about it. What I can tell you is this takes place in the future where there are these people called metahumans, which basically mean that they have superpowers and it kind of runs in your family. And throughout this series we're following this group of friends, and each book has a different perspective. This particular volume follows Emma, who is one of the people that doesn't have any superpowers, but she seems to be the mastermind of the operation that's going on. Throughout this book, when there's no action going on, this character is also delving more into what it means to be asexual and aromantic, and actually comes across the term queer platonic relationship, which was so cool to see on the page because I am in a queer platonic relationship. So if you like superheroes and you like queer things, you should probably pick up this series. Next I finished The Big Rewind. This is a book I picked up on my trip that I knew nothing about. I just kind of looked at the cover, looked at the back, said it had to do with mixtapes, and went, okay, this sounds good. I think this is billed as kind of a murder mystery because the main character is trying to solve the death of her friend and neighbor. However, it's a lot more than that, and it doesn't focus solely on that. Firstly, if you're the type of person that's really into music, you will get a lot out of this. There are so many different bands and songs referenced throughout this. And of course I was able to pick up on some of the more popular ones that like everybody knows, but I don't listen to a lot of music, so when they were complaining about different genres or that type of thing, I was like, yes, sure, you like a thing and I know nothing about it, that's fine. The reason why the title of this book is clever is the main character actually goes through all of her romantic relationships from the past, and kind of you get to see what they were like and why they ended and whether or not she's still hurt over it, and she connects with a few of them again. And because so much of the book is that and it's not trying to solve Kit Kat's murder, that's why some people might be like, well, it is a very strange format, but I actually really enjoyed it. Next, my roommate and I watched a couple more episodes of Glow. This series is wonderful and I've been talking about it for a little while, and then obviously a big gap because I wasn't here to watch it with my roommate. Glow stands for Glamorous Ladies of Wrestling. It's about people who are making a wrestling show, and I just really love the dynamics of the different cast members, how they get along, how they don't get along, what's happening in each of their lives, and I love when we get to learn more about kind of the side wrestling characters. I also, of course, watched a little bit more of Survivor, which is funny because when I was first talking about Glow, I mentioned that somebody from the 38th season of Glow was in the first episode, and apparently in the episodes we watched this week, there's somebody from the 22nd season, and we're currently on the 21st. So when I get to that season, I'll be like, that guy, I know you from Glow. So it's going to be backwards and weird. In any case, we're on season 21. It's not one of the most exciting seasons I've ever watched. I guess the most exciting thing to happen is 2 people quit in the same episode, which, okay. And then of course on Friday I watched the entire 4th season of Queer Eye. Since I knew what the release date was, I put it on my calendar. I usually don't work on Fridays, and I made sure not to schedule myself to work on Fridays, and yes, that's what I did all day long. I mean, after that I did other things. I did some buddy reading and I went to a book club event, but yes, the morning and afternoon, I didn't even get out of bed before I had watched 2 episodes. And let me tell you, I need to find somebody who looks at me the way that Anthony looks at corgis, because oh my goodness, it's so cute. This show is just centered around love and telling people that it's okay to love yourself, and just I love it so much because of all of those feels. I obviously cried a whole heck of a lot during it. There's no surprise there. As always, I appreciated the variety of heroes that they had this season. First this week I listened to There's Something About Sweetie. This is a companion novel to When Dimple Met Rishi. This actually follows Rishi's younger brother and a girl named Sweetie. Ashish has had a lot of girlfriends, but he's never actually dated an Indian girl, and then this other woman breaks his heart, so he's kind of feeling like he doesn't have any mojo anymore, and he actually consents to his parents setting him up. The problem, however, is Sweetie's mother doesn't think that it would be a good fit because Sweetie's mother wants Sweetie to lose weight before she tries to date anybody, which... Sweetie has a naturally big build. She takes after her dad's side of the family instead of her mom's side of the family. She eats very healthy, she's extremely athletic, and people still bully her about her weight because people tend to be horrible. But when Sweetie hears her mother saying that Sweetie can't date this boy because of her size, she decides to go behind her parents' back and date him anyways. This is such a feel-good contemporary that hits a lot of really important points, both in culture that I knew nothing about, as well as fat phobia and people just looking down on people because of what they happen to look like. All of those important social issues wrapped into this gorgeous love story, and I just loved it for that. The final book I listened to this week was the opposite of Always. I would classify this one as speculative fiction. It seems like it should just be contemporary, but it's got this one twist to it that makes it definitely not contemporary. Jack has been pining over his best friend for over 3 years, but the problem is that their mutual best friend and she are already dating, so he's never going to do anything about that. While he's staring at her across the room while sitting on this set of stairs at a college party, this girl tells him that he's damming up the steps, and they strike up a conversation, and he falls in love with her instead. The problem with this is she is sick, and it doesn't go well from there. I didn't know the speculative fiction element of this going into it, so if you also want to be surprised by it, just mute this video for about 10 seconds. Essentially, she dies, and then he goes back in time and tries to save her multiple times. What I liked about this format is it let us focus on the different choices he was making and how that affected him and the people around him. I also really enjoyed that we never found out why this was happening. That was never something that was ever explained, and I kind of preferred it that way. So if you're looking for a hard-hitting love story with a major twist, this is definitely one to keep your eye out for. That's it for this week. If you've read, watched, or listened to any of these, let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!